The obesity escape bracelet frenzy was sweeping the nation. It had been about a week since sales began. All kinds of internet forums and social media were overflowing with testimonials about miraculous results. I bought it the moment the banner ad popped up. I'm the real winner. I ate ramen last night and went straight to bed, but my face isn't swollen at all. My body feels lighter, and even my fatigue is gone. If you combine this with exercise, the effect is insane. Wait, are you saying you didn't do anything and still lost weight? Yeah, I lost weight. The real point is that I'm steadily getting healthier. Same here. I got scared and went to the hospital for tests, but everything came back normal. I admit it, I didn't believe it at first, but now I do. Please reopen the server and sell more. For unbelievers, only weight gain, high blood pressure, and high fasting blood sugar remain. Long live Rajix Trading. Thank you, Rajix Trading. Fine, I get it. I need to buy it. But why is the server still down? Damn it, you only made 3,000 units? Is tower metal that scarce? Adamant is a common metal, though. Let me scratch my own lottery ticket, too. I want to lose weight and go clubbing. Like losing weight is going to change your face? Whatever, take my money. I'd pay 1,000,001 a month, not just 500,000. Cries were erupting everywhere. It was a massive success. The real-time reaction could even be checked from White Tower Floor 17. After all, the internet worked there too. The one browsing famous forums and social media sites with a satisfied smile was Secretary Macmillan. What a spectacle! When he had first accepted the suggestion of the shut-in alchemist Ali Amari, he had not expected the reaction to be this explosive. It was only beginner-level enchantment magic, and the effect had been deliberately made very weak so that it would not put strain on the body. Besides, what was so remarkable about losing weight anyway? In the world Secretary Macmillan came from, obesity was not even treated as a disease. So what if someone put on a little weight? If anything, it meant they ate well and lived well. But this was Earth before its collapse, a world of abundance, overflowing with food thanks to advanced technology, a society where far more people died from overeating than from starvation. And then, at just the right moment, an item appeared that solved people's worries. With people reacting this passionately, Secretary Macmillan could not possibly stay quiet. He wanted to boast immediately that he was the one who had made it. So he went on to a fairly active internet forum and left a post himself. I made this bracelet. It's cheap trash, so I don't know why you're all making such a fuss. You lot look pathetic and pitiful. Though yes, I'm wearing one too. Yeah, sure, it's late. Go wash up and go to sleep. I'm not lying. This is a special handcrafted item. Whatever, we know you're just an attention seeker, so stop stirring shit and get lost. I really made it. Prove it. These bastards. Should he show them the entire process from beginning to end? Secretary Macmillan slowly opened the camera app on his smartphone. He set it in a suitable spot, took out an adamant ingot, and was just about to activate magic. He stopped before pressing the record button. He desperately wanted to film it and upload it, but forget it. If word got out that he had filmed and posted it, who knew what kind of uproar would follow? Those idiots would swarm him, saying he was chasing clout, asking whether he had no common sense, mocking him for filming himself, demanding to know whether this even helped the summoner at all, and hurling every kind of criticism imaginable. Now was not the time. Someday, the day would come when he would leave his mark on this earth. Just then, "Hey, Laborer Mac, what are you doing right now? Work's piling up. Get back to it." Laborer Mac. That little, if only he could burn that mouth shut. There was no helping it. He had brought this on himself. Damn it, the work was piling up, but making a nine-circle mage spend every day chanting enchantment spells, what a waste, if only someone else could do it. Was there anyone usable around? Triggering enchantment magic was easy. The first circle was enough, and one circle magic did not even require formal training. You could artificially create it and teach it. Wait, one person came to mind. An industry insider and a recently approved monthly pass holder. He had not awakened as a player yet, which made the conditions perfect. Maybe it was worth asking him. At Ragix Trading, CEO Young Dong-hoon felt more worried than happy that the obesity escape bracelet had sold out. On launch day, the reaction had been lukewarm. But once word spread, Novelite of Leave the prepared stock had sold out in less than half a day. They needed to reopen the server and start selling again as soon as possible, but he was not sure whether enough supply had been secured yet. The bracelet bodies were produced externally. They were handed over to Commissioner John Gwangil, delivered to the workshop on White Tower Floor 17, and completed by the residents there. Should I go and check in? It was not just for work. He genuinely enjoyed spending time with the people there. It felt warm and uplifting. Not long ago, Player Bong had even given him a badge. There had been applause and cheers. Apparently it was for doing a good job pulling something. Even now, the badge was still gleaming on the chest of his suit. He had also received a monthly pass. Jung Dong-hoon called his secretary over the intercom. "You called for me, sir? Come in, Secretary O." Oh Jin-suk had recently been transferred from General Affairs to the Executive Office. That was not only because of Player Bong's request. Her HR evaluations had also been good, fast, capable, and widely known as a mood maker. There's no schedule today, right? Actually, HG Fashion contacted us. They said they wanted to meet today if possible. Meet for what? They were probably trying to pull strings now that the difference in leather supply had become obvious. Tell them I'm busy. Don't schedule anything else for now. And you can leave early today. Yes, understood. Jung Dong-hoon left work as well. He returned to his apartment, changed into comfortable clothes, and enter White Tower Floor 17, spot. The twin towers of Ragix Trading still stood there in all their majesty. And then, "Hey, Mr. Jung. Yes? If you're here, come help out. We're short on hands." "Ah, understood." It was Ragix's workshop. Everyone was hard at work, each holding a bracelet and handling the refined magic stone process. This was not easy work, especially not for an ordinary person like Jung Dong-hoon. His hands were slow, powder spilled everywhere, and because he still was not used to it, he fumbled awkwardly in his haste. "Mr. Jung, do you plan to make a living like this?" Jung carry the magic stone bracelets. "What about Mr. Jun? He's good at this." We contacted Mr. Jun too. He said he'd finish up work and come right over. Mr. Jung was him, but who was Mr. Jun? At that moment, spot. "Oh, Mr. Jun is here." Commissioner Jun Gwangil appeared on White Tower Floor 17. "Sorry I'm late. Oh, CEO Jung is here too." "Ah, hello, Commissioner. Good. Let's work together." Jun Gwangil jumped right into the work. He was incredibly skilled at it. Clearly, this was not his first time, which made sense. On White Tower Floor 17, player abilities manifested fully. Even basic physical capabilities were on a different level. "Oh, our veteran laborer Mr. Jun works like a dream, completely different from Mr. Reen." Jung. "Ha ha ha, is that so? I'll make sure you get a hearty snack later. If you keep this up, you'll get a permanent residency pass soon. How about a drink with this old man after work? That sounds good." Jun Gwangil was showered with praise. Meanwhile, Jung Dong-hoon felt a sting in his chest, a sense of exclusion. They were both monthly pass holders, yet one was praised while the other was scolded for being bad at work. Hey, I was the one who pulled that insane gotcha not long ago. Everyone was cheering. Had they already forgotten? That was just too much. Suddenly, he remembered what Player Bong had said, that he could awaken him as a player any time he wanted. If I became a player, at least my physical abilities here would improve, right? He would be able to use an inventory too. But that meant entering the tower. Should he do it or not? Up to the 5th floor is easy, right? You just beat up harmless worms that cannot even attack. But, no, I can't. He had to know his limits. Once attack-type monsters started appearing from the 6th floor onward, he would be running for his life. Above the 10th floor was completely out of the question. Forget it. A player? Who did he think he was? Then, someone quietly approached him, CEO Jung. Would you like to talk with me for a moment? Ah, yes, Secretary Macmillan, the overall project lead of the obesity escape bracelet. Secretary Macmillan led Jung Dong-hoon to a quiet place. Then, have you ever thought about learning magic? What? What was he supposed to mean by that? If you master just one stirkle magic, then instead of stuffing refined powder around like that, you can become elite high-end personnel who simply chants enchantment spells. People need to learn skills. Magic? The kind where light comes out of your hands? If you do menial labor like that 100 times, what do you get in a month? One salary. But an elite magic technician just chants spells and the work is finished. That's where the real sweet money is. Damn right. It was tempting. But I don't even know what magic is. It's not difficult. I can make you a one-stirkle mage myself and teach you. You only need to learn one spell. But your will is all that matters. If you have that, I'll take care of everything else. Jung Dong-hoon fell into deep thought. The magic secretary Macmillan wanted to teach him was probably the spell that activated the bracelet's enchantment. Decide quickly. I still need approval. Approval? Our summoner's approval. That's the biggest hurdle. What should he do? If he learned magic, work would definitely become easier. Should I try learning it? As Jung Dong-hoon's heart slowly tilted in one direction, suddenly, Spot, Bong Ju-hyuk appeared on White Tower floor 17. Oh dear, CEO Jung, Commissioner Jun, I think I got you monthly passes only to make you work. Oh no, not at all. I'm doing this because I want to. I'm fine too. Let's do it together. I'll help too. At those words, the summoned entities all spoke up in unison. No, absolutely not. Summoner Bong ruins everything. Just watch. Young master, labor is the work of lowly servants. A noble should only supervise. The summoner should just have a drink with this old man later. The warrior will do the summoner's share as well. Master, please just stay by my side. Wah! In truth, the real imbalance lay elsewhere. China's situation was growing more serious by the day. The conflict between the government and the players, sparked by the bombing investigation at the Beijing Continental Crisis Management Headquarters. It should not have dragged on for this long. Under normal circumstances, it could have been resolved through some level of compromise. But ordinary players resisted by refusing to supply high-grade magic stones to China, and the Chinese government had no intention of letting that pass. The biggest problem was the absence of a control tower. There was no leader willing to take responsibility and make a decisive call. What had begun as a policy dispute turned into an emotional standoff. The rift only deepened. Level 58 ordinary player Hao Ren met with level 61 ordinary player Zhang Wenxi. Both were core members of the Chinese Players Association. Zhang Wenxi, I got something as a reward from the tower yesterday. What was it? Don't tell anyone, ever. Understood. My lips are sealed. A liberation rune necklace. What? That only drops from the 71st floor and above. You're only level 58. How? I don't know. It dropped on the 53rd floor. I was shocked when I heard the reward message, too. Don't tell me. The restriction's been lifted. Probably. A liberation rune necklace, an item that allowed a player's abilities to manifest in the real world. If that was now dropping on lower floors, for now, don't tell anyone. Keep it in your inventory. Yeah, one piece alone won't change anything. Let the association members know too. If a liberation rune necklace drops, tell them to keep it secret. Zhang Wenxi's other identity. He was the China handler for the Black Market Guild. His real level was far higher than what was publicly known. Liberation rune necklaces are dropping on low floors in China? That information was quietly spread among the members of the Black Market Guild. After that, a large number of liberation rune necklaces began appearing as rewards. Even weapons and equipment without the tower-only restriction. Thanks to the efforts of the summoned entities, enough stock was produced to resume sales, just like before, 3,000 units. But Juhyuk was not satisfied. Why was everyone working themselves to the bone like this? Something was wrong. Even Commissioner Jun and CEO Jung were getting dragged in as labor. Resting and enjoying life should come first. Work was something you only did when you got bored. So Juhyuk gathered the summoned entities and declared, from now on, labor hours are strictly limited. Bracelet production is capped at 3 hours a day. No overtime, no extra shifts, exactly 3 hours, then you clock out. Chaos erupted immediately. 3 hours? What can be done in 3 hours? At least 8 hours of labor are necessary. Cossack is correct. Servants are not to be spared, they are to be used. This old man agrees. 3 hours is a bit. The warrior demands harder labor. Veronica Caliber says that if the troops idle around, discipline will collapse. Why? Oh? Absolute obedience. 3 hours only. Huh? People are supposed to loaf around and enjoy life. If you work all the time, are you even human? You're a machine. He pressed hard, but we refuse. What? Refuse? Based on Rule 3, Clause 3, we will continue working. Indeed. On the path for young master, there can be no laziness. We'll work hard and earn money. Supplies are the shortest path to victory. Why? Seriously? They were going to use Clause 3 for this. The summoned entities were fired up by the bracelet's popularity. Strike while the iron was hot, work hard, earn more, and ease the summoner's financial burden. At that moment, Secretary Macmillan hovered around Juhyuk like a dog that desperately needed to relieve itself. What was he up to now? Come to think of it, there was a large yellow exclamation mark floating over Secretary Macmillan's head. Is he a game NPC? Is he about to hand out a quest? Do you need something? Ah, summoner, I need permission for something. For what? Well, CEO Jung keeps pestering me to teach him magic. I told him no, but he keeps begging to at least learn a one-circle enchantment spell. Yeah, right. It was probably the exact opposite. This was Secretary Macmillan trying to dump his work onto CEO Jung. His tireless effort to avoid work. Admirable, truly admirable. So CEO Jung wants to learn. That is correct. Juhyuk had previously offered to awaken CEO Jung as a player, but CEO Jung had refused, said it was scary. If he awakened and never entered the tower, the awakening would eventually be revoked, which felt wasteful. But a mage, no need to enter the tower. He could just sit here and chant enchantment spells, teach him properly. Oh, thank you. I'll make him into a usable one-circle enchantment mage. Swish! The exclamation mark above Secretary Macmillan's head turned into a question mark, then pop, vanished. Quest complete? He really was entertaining to watch. Anyway, Commissioner Jun was a player. CEO Jung would become a mage specializing in enchantment. Whether that was a good thing or not, who knew? In any case, once enough stock had been secured, Rajik's Trading resumed Obesity Escape Bracelet subscription sales. Obesity Escape Health Bracelet subscriptions reopened. First come, first served, 3,000 slots. The server crashed in 10 seconds. No matter how desperately people hammered F5, the screen would not move. Yes, subscription successful. Damn it, why is buying one bracelet this hard? Is it just a bracelet? It's an Obesity Escape Health Bracelet. Anyone under 100 kilograms, take your hands off the mouse. Let me live too. You skinny bastards, if I catch you wearing that bracelet, you're dead. Old subscribers and new subscribers alike were satisfied. Of course, there were limits. As time passed, the speed of weight loss slowed. It went a little faster when combined with exercise. Still, the best part was this. The weight never came back. Eat, sleep, drink, your weight stayed stable, and that alone was already more than enough. The popularity of the Escape from Obesity bracelet showed no signs of cooling down. The moment sales opened, traffic exploded, sold out the instant it went on sale. There were still many people who couldn't quite believe the bracelet worked. Some even claimed it was nothing more than a placebo. So what? The results were right there in reality. Of course, if someone deliberately tried to gain weight, stuffing themselves with high-calorie food, going straight to sleep after eating, or lazing around without lifting a finger, then they would gain weight. But once they returned to their normal routine, the weight came right back off. With people going this crazy over it, the workshop on White Tower floor 17 was running non-stop. Shouldn't we take a break? It's the weekend. Orders are backed up. Weekend overtime. Get out of here. Come on. If it's that bad, stop selling them. Gotta make money while we can. For this little, that's only because it's early. First goal is 1 million subscribers. Then we'll be pulling in 50 million a month. Has this guy lost his mind? You're saying you'll make 1 million bracelets? There's no reason we can't. If it won't work, we'll make it work. Then he turned to the other summoned entities. Comrades, can you do it? We shall forge them until our bodies shatter. O light, a warrior always gets it done. Ah, good, the march of hardship begins. Long live Juhik, others aside. Even Gyandale was like this. We shall soon surpass 10,000 units. We need only do that 100 times. What is the problem? Seriously, it's not as if they were gluing eyeballs onto dolls. Everyone's eyes had gone wild. Money was terrifying. Were they planning to grow old and die making bracelets on White Tower floor 17? Had they been summoned just to make some stupid bracelets? When you thought about it, this was all Mackenzie Dronak's fault. He had said it was a good idea and even handed out badges. Why did I ever agree to this? Meekenhin, Juhik shot Mackenzie a sharp glare. Startled by the ominous look, Mackenzie flinched, averted his eyes, and bowed his head. Mackenzie, yes. Do our high-grade personnel really have to keep filling them by hand with magic stone powder? Well, that is... Is there a way to mass-produce this with magic? Something where you pressed a button and clack, 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 finished products poured out along a conveyor belt. Are you talking about a factory-style production system? Yes, exactly. Mackenzie hesitated for a moment, then spoke. If we were to bring in a magical engineer, it might be possible. A magical engineer? If it was magic-related, their company's original home ground had been the Magitech Empire. They work in a magical field different from enchantment or alchemy. It is a discipline that combines magical power and technology to create mechanical artifacts. One of its defining traits is automated production facilities. Oh, automated production facilities. Just hearing it sounded wonderful. Is there a magical engineer in the world of souls? Well, I did novelites speak to one once, a very long time ago, and I haven't seen them recently. He asked the other summoned entities. The answers were similar. Some had never spoken to one, while others, like Mackenzie, had met one long ago but had no idea where they were now. Ding! Mary, if you're talking about a magical engineer, there was exactly one in the world of souls. But after rumors spread that they had lost their summoner and gone mad, their soul collapsed. They had disappeared. No one knew where. It was unfortunate. Not because he might fail to summon them, but because the image of someone losing their summoner and falling into despair rose vividly in his mind. I need to live a long life. Unlike summoned entities, once he died, that was the end. So it was not even certain that there was a magical engineer in the world of souls. Then what? Better not get his hopes up. If he expected too much and ended up summoning someone from a different profession, it would only be disappointing. Besides, once they had enough people, manual labor would still work. Until then, they would just have to slow down. Selling 3,000 at once was already more than enough. Let's cap it at 1,000. With that in mind, everyone, the summoned entities turned toward Juhyuk. Let's go to work. We're already working. Not this. Tower conquest, an upper floor that hasn't been cleared yet. Time to climb the tower. Forget bracelet production. Mackenzie, who had been deflated and carefully reading the room, suddenly sprang to his feet. Summoner, the 84th floor. Yes, sounds more fun than making bracelets, right? I shall burn this body to ashes. D-U-N-N, D-U-do-do-do-do, ta-da. Somehow, dramatic background music. Thumb whoosh, flames engulfed Mackenzie's body. Pff, it was genuinely funny. You couldn't hate him. Once it was announced that they were going after the 84th floor, the summoned entities immediately stopped working and gathered. Wait here, I'll summon you outside. Juhyuk stepped out, and moments later the summoned entities waiting inside vanished one by one. Spot! 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 White Tower floor 17 fell silent. Then, spot! Someone appeared. No one here. It was Jung Dong-hoon. These days, whenever he had free time, he came here. Being here put him at ease. Chatting with people was fun too. Looks like they went to the tower. The workshop was empty too. Well, since he was already here, he might as well work a little. Jung Dong-hoon picked up a bracelet and began chanting a spell, engraving activation. Nah. Ingrediacto, FWAASAHAS, TCHHT. A pungent cloud of smoke rose. Failure. Since he was not fully skilled yet, his enchantment success rate was only around 50%. He set the failed ones aside. His teacher had told him not to fear failure and to keep going. That was the only way to improve. Just then, Spot, CEO Jung. Oh, Commissioner Jung, you're here. Commissioner Jung Gwangil had arrived too. He must have been free since it was the weekend. The others, I don't know. When I got here, there was no one. Oh, really? Then, shall we work together? Commissioner Jung Gwangil picked up a large sack from the corner of the workshop with one hand and sat down beside Jung Dong-hoon. The sack was full of unenchanted escape from obesity bracelets. That must be heavy, but Commissioner Jung Gwangil was a player, and this was a place where a player's abilities manifested. Apparently, he had awakened with help from a certain player named Bong. Still, there was no envy. Jung Dong-hoon was a mage. Ingrediacto, Dunade was AAT. This time it succeeded. This run would start with Tower number 1. People kept complaining that they always cleared Tower number 2 first. The setting was a freezing tundra swept by a raging blizzard. Brr, it's cold. No sooner had he spoken than, "Oh light, fire heater!" Bardin and Mackenzie cast their spells at the same time. Warmth spread instantly. So, what would it be this time? Since it was the giant monster zone, something huge should appear. Behemoths are mammals when you think about it. Apophis is a reptile. Right, giant spiders are insects. So, what kind of spider is an insect? Go read Namu Wiki properly. Fine then, mammals, reptiles, insects, maybe amphibians next? Amphibians would be frogs or salamanders, probably a giant frog. Ribbit, in this cold, a frog? But then, huh? Rajix tilted his head. He sniffed the air. Wah! As if he had caught something, he leaped onto Bloodwolf's back. Wah! He pulled out a golden pickaxe and pointed in one direction. Woof, woof, pat-pat-pat. Bloodwolf charged forward. What was with them now? It looked like they had caught a real scent. Rajix, where? Where are you going? Come back. At that moment, shhhhhhhh, the surroundings darkened as if clouds had covered the sky. Ding! Defeat one giant monster, Frozen Colossus Condor. Frozen Colossus Condor, an avian giant monster, a massive bird. Right, it was about time. Up until now, they had only faced land-based giant monsters. It made sense for one to appear eventually. Juhyuk and the summoned entities looked up. It was truly enormous, so large that it darkened the surroundings. With its colossal wings spread wide, the frozen Colossus Condor glided through the sky. Whoosh! It was moving very slowly. Like a floating airship, it drifted lazily with its wings spread, big and slow. This might be easier than expected, but what was that? Gnat-like things flew around the condor in such numbers that they almost hid its body. Those are birds made of ice? Hawks, perhaps? Ice hawks, like the Spider Queen. The giant condor seemed to have minions as well. Meanwhile, Rajix was racing across the snowy plain on Bloodwolf's back, straight beneath the condor. Would he be all right? Even at that height, if he was noticed. Just then, screech! Some of the ice hawks circling the condor plunged sharply toward the ground. Whack! Like they had locked onto prey, and that prey was Rajix. Rajix, where? The descending ice hawks. Boom, 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 boom. They were like bombs. Countless ice hawks rained down on Rajix. Damn it! Pop, 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 pop. Juhyuk reflexively activated Shadow Step. At the same time, the summoned entities moving behind him sprang into action. Boom, 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 boom. The Ice Hawks were like a multi-launch missile barrage, terrifyingly fast. Boom, 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 boom. Whir! Bloodwolf and Rajix fled with their tails between their legs. Boom, 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 boom. Ice Hawks kept slamming down right behind them. Juhyuk ran like mad too. Rajix and Bloodwolf were somehow managing to dodge by a hair, but it was dangerous. If they were hit by an ice hawk, then, clunk! Mid-run, Bloodwolf tripped over a rock and tumbled forward. Rajix rolled across the snow and sprawled out flat. At the same moment, swack! An ice hawk flew straight toward Rajix's head. Gah, damn it! He couldn't dodge that. No! SHWAAAAAAA. Crack! Crack! Shit! Splat! Ip! A fountain of blood burst forth. Red flesh scattered through the air. It was Bloodwolf. At the critical moment, it had thrown itself forward and shielded Rajix. Bloodwolf was dead. There had not even been time to react. Rajix wailed in grief. You damned bird bastard. His heart ached, but there was nothing to be done. At least Rajix had to survive. Spot, Juhyek dashed forward and scooped Rajix up in his arms. Even then, ice hawks continued to pour down without end. Swoosh! A huge fortified barrier enveloped Juhyek and Rajix. Great barrier! Mackenzie's massive shield protected all the summoned entities. Bam, 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 bam. Ice hawks crashed directly into the barrier. In that instant, zing, a violent storm of energy erupted. Whom? The mad demon drew up his kui. Dozens of crescent-shaped energy blades formed above his hands. Shwip, shwip, shwip. They shot toward the giant monster frozen colossus condor at the speed of light. But crack, 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 pack, 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 pap, 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 pip, the ice hawks intercepted the crescent energy blades. Hrilyabanor, cum, like chaff released by aircraft to disrupt missiles. Cud, cud, some of the energy blades slipped through and struck the giant body. Yet the frozen colossus condor did not stop flying. Damn, that thing! For it to withstand the mad demon's energy, it was at least on par with that monster from before, or stronger. More importantly, something was strange. Until now, flying monsters had descended to the ground when they were aggroed. They attacked players with beaks or claws near the surface. But that thing did not come down, no matter how many times it was hit. Only ranged attacks? Then melee fighters like Meat Shield, Cossack, and Bardin could do nothing but watch. Countless ice hawks still rained down on Juhyek and the others. SHWAAAAAA, bam, 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 bam. You bastard, FWOsh. Mackenzie's entire body burst into flame. Whom, whoosh. Hundreds of blazing fire spears floated into the air behind him. Pierce and burn everything. Fire spear. Shoot, 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 shoot. The fire spears streaked toward the frozen colossus condor in volleys. But boom, boom, boom. Ice hawks slammed into the blazing spears as if defending their master. The same pattern as with the crescent energy blades. Crescent energy and fire spears filled the sky. Yet the frozen colossus condor continued gliding calmly, utterly unfazed. Gulp. Juhyek swallowed dryly. It's a flying battleship. How the hell are we supposed to kill that? Just then, do-dum, do-dum, dum-dum-dum, do-do-dum. Drumbeats echoed across the battlefield. Their senses sharpened, and strength and courage surged. Kyundale's ritual buff spread through the summoned entities. SHSHSHS, talismans flew into the air. Ice hawks struck by them vanished instantly. And Zion! Veronica Caliber took a firing stance and aimed at the frozen colossus condor. The talismans opened a path. Zeep, clack, boom! A massive guided projectile of condensed magical power struck the condor's body head-on. Screech! Flap! The beast beat its wings and climbed higher. It worked. The condor, which had not even flinched at fire spears or energy blades, had taken damage from Veronica Caliber's heavy round. Second shot. Zip! Clack! Boom! Screech! The shockwave from the shot shook the sky itself. With a shriek, the beast wobbled in mid-air. Third heavy round. Zip! Clack! Boom! Definite damage. The frozen colossus condor flapped frantically and soared higher and higher. But that was all. Even after taking 3 heavy rounds, it did not fall. Veronica Caliber, any spare heavy rounds? No, all expended. I see. The maximum number of heavy rounds Veronica Caliber's magic rifle could fire was 3. Then, Mad Demon. Yes? Can you kill that thing? If we hit it all day, perhaps, eventually. Understood. In other words, no. Figures. Unless it came down, there was nothing they could do. Another retreat. A true man's strategy had to be overwhelming. A strategy that barely chipped away at HP under a time limit was basically failure. Let's pull out. Why was the weather so damn awful too? Damn, Radix was saved, but our poor blood wolf. When it came back after 100 days, he would buy it mountains of dog treats. Screech, no user tower clearing mission reset ticket. Screech, no user tower clearing mission reset ticket. Exiting the tower. See you next time, you damned bird bastard. I'll turn you into a fried chicken combo for sure. Spot, another unfortunate reset. For some reason, they kept using reset tickets up in the 80s. What could they do? If it couldn't be done, it couldn't be done. Still, he could see a path forward. Next time, they might be able to crush it with an S+++ clear. But first, designated summon, Blood Wolf, silence. It did not work. Blood Wolf was already dead, clearly marked in the catalog. Blood Wolf, designated summon, unavailable for 100 days. Ah! Poor Blood Wolf. It had sacrificed itself to save Radix and died. It felt like his chest was tearing apart. There had not even been time to use a summoned entity resurrection rune. The Ice Hawk's direct hit had completely blown its body apart. Let's hold a moment of silence for Blood Wolf. Wah, sniff. Radix bowed his head, tears streaming down. A cosmic bald farmer with far too much greed for items, he always dashed off the moment he caught a scent. Still, Juhyak hugged him tightly. Next time, don't ever go off alone. You want to make me lose my mind? Wah, let's endure the 100 days, then we'll see Blood Wolf again. Wah, yeah, my heart hurts too. Next, Veronica Caliber, yes. If you break through your rank, can you take down the Condor? In one shot, confident, promote her. Veronica Caliber currently had a total of 7 platinum badges. Juhyek placed a summoned entity rank breakthrough rune and 18 platinum badges into her hands. You'll be away for about 2 weeks. Yes, understood. Break through and come back. Victory. The potential she had shown on the 84th floor. Despite being SS rank, she had inflicted meaningful damage on the frozen Colossus Condor. If she came back as LSS rank, then they would have a real way to deal with it. Fighting. I will succeed in my promotion. Good. I'll wait. Dismiss summon. Spot. Let's go rest too. Mass dismissal. Spot, 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 spot. Back to White Tower floor 17. But, huh? What? Whoa. Standing blankly on White Tower floor 17 was Veronica Caliber, and right beside her was a faint spectral dog wagging its tail like a pinwheel. Woof, woof, woof. What the? Why were they here? Oh, right. They could not return to the world of souls, could they? White Tower floor 17 was the waiting room. So dismiss summon happened here, rank breakthroughs happened here, even death meant waiting here for 100 days. This was awkward. They had even said goodbye and held a moment of silence. At this rate, death and survival were practically the same. They might even be able to use a summoned entity resurrection rune. Truly, absurdly broken. White Tower floor 17, that is. It had originally been like that. Rank ups for summoned entities, rank breakthroughs, and even the place where dead summoned entities had to wait out their 100 days with designated summon unavailable. All of that had originally taken place in the world of souls. But now, everything had changed completely. White Tower floor 17 handled all of it. First, Blood Wolf's case. Ooh, 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 ooh. It had no physical body. You couldn't touch it. Its body was faint and spirit-like. That was why even its barking sounded like telepathy. Was there any way to restore it to normal? Juhyuk pulled a rune from his inventory. It was his first time using this item. How were you supposed to use it? Runes are usually eaten, right? But could this one even be eaten? He casually tossed it over. Ooh, grr, sniff, sniff, ooh, ooh. Blood Wolf approached and swallowed the summoned entity resurrection rune in one gulp. Even in spirit form, it somehow managed to eat the rune. Wilmen tampi mi summoned to candid. Diverit handampi mi summoned antant. Hin, the result, FWAAAH. Clusters of light, like when a summoned entity was first called forth, appeared from all directions and rushed toward Bloodwolf. Pop, pop, pop. The light gathered in one place, and the blurry spirit body gradually became clear. 100-day restriction on Bloodwolf has been lifted. Designated summon is now possible. Mulm, hin, muln. It had come back to life. Woof, woof, woof. Now it was no longer speaking through telepathy. It was barking normally. Wah! The two rolled around together in a huge commotion. It was a heartwarming sight. Don't ever die again. Why is my nose stinging all of a sudden? Then, ding, a notification chimed. Don't tell me. You have revived a catalog-affiliated summoned entity that died in combat for the first time. Yes, if it was a first, there should be a reward. Bring it on. Bring it on. Take that reward and shove it. Damn it, wasn't that a little too cruel? How is that any different from forcing an office worker into overtime every single day? They should have given some kind of White Tower-related reward instead. 4 tower entries per day, my ass. Anyway, one thing was settled. Next, Veronica Caliber's rank breakthrough. Anyone with experience already knew how it worked. Gyandale had gone through it already. How do you usually do a breakthrough? In the world of souls, you attach the platinum badges bestowed by Young Master and swallow the summoned entity rank breakthrough rune. The moment you consume it, you enter a suspended state where you can neither move nor speak. So, you need a quiet place, somewhere you will not be disturbed. A quiet place, Juyak made a suggestion to Veronica Caliber. How about the top of the 61st floor? I like it. I'll break through and rise straight up like a skyscraper. Sounds good. I'll blow that Condor bastard to pieces. Victory, victory. And so Veronica Caliber began her rank breakthrough at the top of the landmark building on the 61st floor of the White Tower. Closed-door training began. The estimated breakthrough time was 2 weeks. And by the time Veronica Caliber returned, the random summoning cooldown would have ended too. So what do we do now? We rest. We make bracelets. Those damn bracelets. Are we really going to spend our whole lives making bracelets? When Juhek snapped irritably, it's all for Summoner Bong's success. Where else would you find a summoned entity as loyal as me? True enough, but still, to be honest, even that mad demon geezer would slack off and drink by himself if Summoner Bong weren't around. Total wage thief. What? He drank by himself? Without inviting anyone? That was kind of hurtful. But the mad demon who had been listening in silence opened his mouth. Summoner. Yes? How many summoned entity resurrection runes do you have? 2 or 3. Why? Then that means you can kill someone 2 or 3 times. Who are you planning to kill? There is such a fellow, a mongrel who constantly provokes this old man's killing intent. It was obvious who he meant. I'm very curious. What happens if a summoned entity dies on White Tower floor 17? At that, Cossack exploded. Mad demon, have you lost your mind? Summoned entity resurrection runes should be conserved. You can't just waste them like that. Are you going senile? If you're that curious, try it on yourself. Ziing. The mad demon manifested crescent-shaped key. Let's test it right now. If I cut your head off, will it stay attached or roll away? Eek! Spot! Cossack bolted. Pop, 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 pop. The mad demon chased after him. At this rate, someone really might die one day, because summoned entity resurrection runes existed. United States Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Macmillan was speaking privately with Director Antonio in his office. Their expressions were grim because of what they were discussing. So you're saying that thing is dropping on the lower floors of the Chinese tower, below the 71st floor? Yes, that's why members of black market guilds are starting to move into China as well. Ha! Even the black market guilds? Those idiots still haven't learned? It's a liberation rune necklace. Any player would covet it. Something unusual was happening in China. Liberation rune necklaces were appearing on the lower floors of Chinese towers. Originally, they only dropped from the 71st floor and above. Only elite players backed by the state could obtain them. But the lower floors? There were even rumors that a player in the 30-floor range had obtained one as a reward. Most ordinary players were low level, below level 60, but there were a lot of them. No one even knew the exact number. Many players operated without registering. If this was true, we won't even know who got how many. That's a problem. Yes, it will become a major social issue. It could even be used as a tool for crime. Imagine someone wearing one and robbing a bank. And robbing a bank was the mild scenario. Does the Chinese government know? They must. Whether they've prepared countermeasures is another matter. And of all places, China. It was already well known that tensions existed between the Chinese government and ordinary players. For now, ordinary players were helpless under state power. But if they secured liberation rune necklaces, that meant gaining the physical power to resist public authority. If things went wrong, it could turn into a catastrophe. Worse, the black market guilds had already caught the scent. There was a real possibility it could spread worldwide. We can't just sit back. Right, this isn't just China's problem anymore. As they spoke, Macmillan noticed something odd on Antonio's wrist. A bracelet? Not a watch. What kind of man wore accessories? Antonio, what's that bracelet? Oh, this? A friend gave it to me. I'm starting to question your sexual orientation. Want to come out while you're at it? I wouldn't mind. Seriously, wearing a bracelet makes me gay? This is America, the land of macho men. Anyway, who gave it to you? Commissioner Jun Guangil. He sent it by air delivery. What? Wait, a bracelet sent as a gift by the head of the Korean Awakening Administration? Don't tell me, is that the escape from obesity bracelet? Bingo, you know about it too, Secretary. How could I not? So, does it work? It's incredible. I lost weight, and my blood pressure and blood sugar dropped. Really? Why would I lie? I think I know who made this. Macmillan nodded unconsciously. Of course. Who else but Mr. Bong? But the quantity was far too large for it to be a simple tower reward item. Maybe the manufacturing method itself had been obtained as a reward. Sell it to me. I'll pay double. I can't. Then get another one. I have to ask for one again once the validity period expires anyway. Come on, can't you sell it to me? You called me gay earlier. Why don't you contact them yourself, Secretary? Grr, fine. Secretary Macmillan himself had an imposing build. Naturally so, he was American. The adult obesity rate in the United States was around 40%. That meant 4 out of every 10 adults were obese. As a result, the American obesity treatment market was the largest in the world. Naturally, news of Korea's Rajix Trading Company and its escape from obesity bracelet had reached the United States. Wow, really? It actually works? Check YouTube. That's all anyone is talking about. I still can't believe it. It's real. I tried it myself. How? I live in Korea. I got lucky and bought one. Any news about US sales? Production can't keep up. I'll probably have to fly to Korea and buy one. No, the place that needs it most is the US. Just go to a supermarket right now. Koreans don't even need it. In America, that level barely even counts as obesity. It wasn't just the United States. The whole world had started paying attention to Korea, or more precisely, to Rajix Trading Company. Overseas buyers visited Korea. They began sounding out the possibility of exporting the Escape from Obesity bracelet. But Rajik's trading company had never even considered exports. Its novelite official version couldn't keep up with domestic demand as it was. Juyuk went home for the first time in a while, partly to show his face, partly because there were things he needed to tell his parents. Everyone's here. We've always been here. You're the only one who's been gone. Is that so? True enough. Anyway, our money-making son is finally home, so we should treat him properly. Bring out the full spread. Yes, yes. How long had it been since the whole family had sat around one table like this? Of course, a grown son coming home too often could be a problem too. After they finished eating, they sat in the living room and watched TV. Just then, a news segment about the Escape from Obesity bracelet came on. That bracelet is obviously a scam. I can't believe people still fall for things like that. His father, Bong Soo-chul, clicked his tongue. Min-hyuk snorted. Dad, you really don't know anything. It was proven real ages ago. There are tons of reviews saying it works. Reviews can be faked. What about the sales numbers? Those can be manipulated too. It's being sold online. Is that so? Anything I can't get is fake. Joo-hyuk clicked his tongue too. If you want one, just say so. Don't call everything fake. Then can you get me one? No matter how impressive you are, a bracelet like that, probably impossible, right? Was he being underestimated? At that moment, ding, a notification sounded on Joo-hyuk's smartphone. What is it, Hyung? Loan spam. No, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security is asking me to get him a bracelet. These requests are awkward. What kind of nonsense is that? It's real. I'll show you. Joo-hyuk showed Min-hyuk the message from Secretary Macmillan. Secretary Macmillan, USA. Mr. Bong, I would be extremely grateful if you could secure just one bracelet for me. Please, my physician has been warning me lately because of my increasing weight. Min-hyuk read the message. His face went blank. A U.S. cabinet secretary texting in Korean, and you expect me to believe this? Yeah, I know. Honestly, if he were in their position, he wouldn't believe it either. Fine, I'll give each of you one. I actually prepared them ahead of time. Swish, he pulled bracelets from his inventory. Here, take them. What is this? The Escape from Obesity bracelet. Put one on each. What? The family examined the bracelets from every angle. At first, they thought they were fakes, but the longer they looked, the clearer it became that they weren't. The craftsmanship was exquisite, and they were identical to the ones they had seen on TV and social media, which meant, is this real? Yes, I swear on the honor of the Bong family. Oh, my goodness, something this precious? His mother, Chonggumja, stroked the bracelet with wide eyes and asked, "But where did you get these? I heard you need incredible luck to buy one, no matter how much money you have. Do you know which company makes them? Rajik's Trading Company. That Rajik's Trading Company is my company." What? Huh? That's impossible. Joo-hyuk grinned smugly, stretching his lips wide. Do you know where Rajik's Trading Company's headquarters are? Ah, really? The family already knew that the 61-story building on Gangnam-dero belonged to Joo-hyuk. And actually, I'm the world's top player. The living room fell silent at Joo-hyuk's shocking declaration. I'm serious. You don't believe your son? No one could answer. You know, I drink with Commissioner Jun Gwang-il. I'm close friends with North Korea's Minister of the People's Armed Forces. I exchange greetings with Chairman Kim In-jung. And, right, you saw that message from the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, didn't you? That really is him. I even received a thank you letter from the U.S. President. The reason his family couldn't respond was simple. It all sounded plausible. Their son claiming to be the world's top player. Judging by his expression, he wasn't joking. It had happened before. When he first awakened and said he had signed an elite contract, they thought he was talking nonsense until it turned out to be true. When he later said he owned the holy sword, they scoffed again, only to learn that was true too. So now, this claim that he was the world's top player, could this be true too? Their eyes wavered. He understood. It had to be a lot to take in, but what could he do? They were going to be even more shocked from here on out. By the way, during the Pyongyang terror incident, did you see the live broadcast where someone who looked like a hamster showed up, went swish, and solved everything? Of course they had. The footage was still circulating everywhere. All right, brace yourselves. What? Designated summon, Rajix. Spot. Wha? Rajix appeared in Juhek's family home. Oh my goodness. It's a hamster. A giant hamster. Time for introductions. Mom, Dad, this is Rajix. Rajix, this is my family. Wah, what was this adorable creature? The family couldn't close their mouths. Designated summon, Cossack. Spot, salute, Summoner Bong's right-hand man, the greatest errand runner of this age, foreman of the White Tower Floor 17 workshop, and the sharp-eyed detector of wage thieves, Cossack, reporting in. And who was this now? Mom, Dad, this is Go Sujuk, Minister of the People's Armed Forces. Quick on the uptake, Cossack rolled his eyes and immediately grasped the situation. I am Go Sujuk, Minister of the People's Armed Forces of the Republic, armed with Juche revolutionary spirit. I dedicate this body to the infinite glory of the great Bong bloodline. Comrade Juhek's father and mother, long live, long live, long live. There he went again, overdoing it. He might as well summon everyone. Greetings, I am Kendale, who serves young master. A warrior is the shield that protects the summoner. It is an honor. This old man is called the Mad Demon, the summoner's blade. O light, bless the Bong family. I'm Mackenzie, a mage. The number of people in the room suddenly multiplied. The living room was packed. It felt like a marketplace, a so-called minister shouting "Long live" at the top of his lungs, a white-haired old man with a terrifying gaze, a fairy-like maiden in winged robes bowing as if she might rise into the air at any moment, a giant whose body kept swelling larger, a man glowing with light, an old Westerner setting off tiny fireworks above his own head under invisible spotlights, a red-furred dog, a pale vampire, a seductive succubus. It was dizzying, utter chaos. The family stood frozen, trembling. What were these people? They were terrifying. Meanwhile, Rajix, rumble, 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 rolled around the house. Wah, swish, swish, scrub, scrub. He cleaned enthusiastically, so thoroughly that not a speck of dust remained. Everyone except Veronica Caliber, who was undergoing her rank breakthrough, and Ali Amari had been summoned to Juhyuk's family home. Behind Juhyuk, as he spoke with his family, the summoned entities sat neatly gathered together. The living room was completely full. Still, his family looked uneasy. Strangers had filled their living room. That was only natural. Juhyuk did explain things. From the moment he gained his summoning trait and first entered the tower, to how he cleared S++ and S+++ runs with the help of his summoned entities, and how he came to be called the world's top player. He summarized it simply, in a way that was easy to understand. He left out the nonsense. There was no need to explain every detail. So, these people are helping you, Juhyuk? Yes. They're very kind people. Are you treating them properly? I always treat them well. Minhyuk glanced nervously at the summoned entities and whispered, Wow, our Hyung really has it easy. You're not wrong. He also gave them residency rights. He had prepared them in advance. As he handed one to each of them, they gained the ability to enter White Tower Floor 17, just like CEO Jung. He did not forget to tell them that if anything dangerous ever happened, they were to immediately use the entry function and go to the 17th floor. All right, I'll try it slowly. Me too. His family still seemed burdened by the summoned entities. That was understandable. To them, these people were still strangers. Maybe it was the pressure of their souls. Just making eye contact with them made the family shrink back. And one of them was even claiming to be North Korea's Minister of the People's Armed Forces. It could not feel comfortable. For now, they were frightening people. Minyuk, if you're bored, come hang out often and help out a little too. Well, shouldn't I get familiar with them first? You get familiar with them by coming often. Meanwhile, Rajix was still cleaning, carrying golden cleaning tools from room to room. Rumble, scurry, scurry, swish, swish, scrub, scrub, roll, roll, roll. The family's gazes followed Rajix, sometimes with curiosity, sometimes with warm smiles. Rajix had clearly succeeded in breaking down their weariness. Anyway, introductions had been made, the family's safety was secured. Now, even if the house caught fire, if they fell into the sea and were about to drown, if the tower collapsed and the world ended, the family would be safe. They just had to shout, "White Tower, 17th floor," and that was it. It would take time, but someday they would grow familiar with everyone. They would drop by once in a while, get used to their faces, and slowly grow accustomed to them. He had finally told his family. After saying it out loud, his chest felt completely clear. He should have told them earlier. Even after coming clean, daily life continued as usual. While Veronica Caliber trained in seclusion for her rank breakthrough on the 61st floor of the White Tower landmark, bracelet production continued. Rajix Trading Company outsourced work to nearly every accessory subcontractor in Korea's precious metals district. The massive number of bracelet bodies they produced were transported into the 17th floor, but they were not sold outright. It was a subscription system. Sales volume had to be controlled, and inventory always had to be kept ready. Just like before, this sale was limited to 3,000 units, first come, first served. Requests to increase sales flooded in, but they refused. Even when they made more than enough, they simply stockpiled them. If they sold too many, they would not be able to handle the massive number of bracelet replacements that would come back 3 months later. So sales were staggered and rotated out over time. Once worn, the cursed artifact could never be removed. Enchanting work continued day after day to maintain supply. Workshop foreman Cossack drove the workers hard. "Hey, Mr. Mage, what are you doing? Hurry up and cast the enchantment spell and finish up. I've got a disciple, but Mage Jung has a high defect rate. 3 out of 10 are faulty. I'm handling the defective ones myself, so don't worry. If you did it from the start, there wouldn't be defects. Come on, if you only look for veterans, how are rookies supposed to gain experience?" Juhek still was not satisfied. If they kept working like this, when would they ever get to enjoy themselves? "I think we need to bring in more people. Everyone's working too much," Kandale replied. "I understand young master's benevolent heart, but you must be careful whom you bring in. It could cause trouble." "That's right. Young people these days are hard to manage, unless they're like Chief Chun or CEO Jung." True. Was this an ordinary workplace? You needed an access pass, a lease pass, or some kind of residence-related authority just to enter. How could they bring in just anyone? Minyuk would be nice, but no, that Wimp. There was one possible plan. The random summon date was approaching. A new summoned entity. The odds are low, but if I pull a magical engineer, they could build a factory, a fully automated one, mass-produce bracelets. Still, Veronica Caliber won't be back for another 10 days. It had only been 4 days since she entered seclusion, yet her absence already felt enormous. The moment she returned, they would challenge the 84th floor. That bald eagle bastard, they would crush it. Thinking about how Radix had nearly died made his blood boil. They would also avenge Bloodwolf. Right, why had Radix suddenly run off like that back then? What scent had he picked up? When Juhyuk asked, "Ho, it was a very strong smell." "What kind?" "Strong." "Ho." Then, could it have been a high-grade magic stone vein? "Ho, it was strong." "I see." Now Radix's behavior made sense. Juhyuk had been going on and on about needing high-grade magic stones to decorate the 17th floor. From Radix's perspective, his behavior had been inevitable. Cosmic bald farmer, just you wait. If they hit the jackpot on the 84th floor next time, he would give Radix 2 badges immediately. That would make 25, 5 LSSR skills, the minimum requirement to become an LSSR-ranked summoned entity. Each badge earned step by step, the first summoned entity to achieve it. He was beyond excited. What would an LSSR cosmic bald farmer even look like? In any case, the White Tower Floor 17 workshop ran non-stop. Sometimes they skinned leather, sometimes they had group dinners after hard labor, and the heavy drinkers gathered to drink. CEO Jung, you're improving steadily. Thank you, Master. It's all for our summoner's sake. How about it? Starting to want to learn other spells? No, I'm fine. The enchantment activation spell alone is enough. No ambition, huh? Still, aim for 3 circle. To go around calling yourself Mackenzie Dronak's disciple, you need at least that much. Everyone knew why Mackenzie was teaching Yongdong-hoon magic. No one was fooled. It was because he was useful labor. Still, the results were good. CEO Jung was satisfied too. Sometimes Minhyuk also visited the 17th floor. He was extremely shy around everyone except family. Even at his university, he was known as the all-items unit, a true bottom-tier man who avoided attention. "Oh, Summoner Bong's brother is here, a precious Bong bloodline. Welcome, second young master. Come often. This old man will teach you some usable martial arts." But after standing awkwardly for a while, Spot, Minhyuk disappeared. Tsk, it would take a long time to get close. 3 more days passed like that. They kept producing bracelets. The more they worked, the more natural it felt. Working in the workshop with the summoned entities, Chief Jun and CEO Jung, chatting as they worked, was surprisingly fun. Anyway, Veronica Caliber should be back in a week. Juhyuk looked toward the building where she was undergoing her breakthrough. Should I go up? But he worried about disturbing her. Still, maybe I could quietly take a look. At that moment, FWAAAA, flash, the top of the landmark building shone like a lighthouse. Oh, what's that? Something was happening. A breakthrough. There's still a week left. What if something had gone wrong? Rumble, rumble. Juhyuk and the summoned entities rushed toward the landmark building. The moment they entered the lobby, It's moving. On the elevator LED panel, the arrow was moving downward. 61, 60, 59. It was coming down. 40, 39, 38. Of course, it had to be Veronica Caliber. 20, 19, 18. How had she changed? 5, F, 3. It was faster than expected. Surely she had not failed. Point 1. Ding. It arrived. A tense moment. SHARRAK. The doors opened. Veronica Caliber stepped out. Sergeant Major Veronica Caliber reporting. By order of my commanding officer, I have been promoted to Sergeant Major as of 0 o'clock on 0000. Victory. Veronica Caliber. No, now Sergeant Major Veronica Caliber. I broke through faster than expected. It may be because I attempted the promotion while in a physical body inside the White Tower. The environment must have affected the breakthrough duration. It was definitely not a failure. You could tell at a glance. A Magitech Empire Ranger veteran Sergeant Major who crushes friend and foe alike. Name: Veronica Caliber. Rank: LSSR, Legend Special Super Rare. Type: Magitech Gunner, Human. Manifestation duration: 5 hours. Satisfaction rating: none. Resummon cooldown: 3 hours. Applies after dismissal. Clap, 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 clap. Thunderous applause erupted. Her equipment had been upgraded across the board. The Magitech gun went without saying. It now looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Her defense and mobility also seemed to have increased. The fabric tights she had worn before had changed into glossy black latex. Does that even breathe? It was dizzying. Truly enough to crush allies and enemies alike. Sergeant Major Veronica Caliber. I'm going to die. Black Tower control room. The designer was uneasy. In a previous conversation, the summoner had babbled something strange about bringing in a magical engineer. What if they actually pulled a magical engineer? A magical engineer was not, in itself, an especially extraordinary profession. At its core, it was just an engineer, someone who made golems and mechanical devices. But what if a mage, an alchemist, and a magical engineer gathered in one place? Comum. And what if all three worked together with full commitment toward a single goal? The trinity of magitech, alchemy, and engineering. That terrifying synergy. From the tower administrator's perspective, it would be nothing short of a disaster. So he ordered the engineer to investigate whether there were any magical engineers currently waiting in the world of souls. If investigate, collapsed souls were recycled into the tower. That was protocol. Then, yes, there are currently no magical engineers in the soul waiting room. Thank goodness. Honestly, even one would have been worrying. That summoner with insane luck might really have pulled one, but there were none in the world of souls, which meant it was impossible to summon one. He could finally relax, and yet that lingering discomfort would not fade. Why? What was it? Wait, no, not Inanjawayam Lorn are the noms, 84th floor, which meant the next was the 85th, the boss floor of the early 80s giant monster zone. At last the designer realized the source of his unease. No, that's impossible. From the start it can't. No. It could happen. That bastard had always been like this. But there was nothing to be done. Even an administrator could not directly interfere with tower conquests. All he could do was pray it would not happen. There was no need to wait. Juhek and his party moved immediately to take revenge. Oof, Midenai, Miv, Fifne timed, Maun, Idenai, Fifnei. Let's finish this in one shot. Victory! The upgraded Magitech gun had a very clear drawback, a potentially serious one. It could only use high-grade magic stones as ammunition. As a result, the maintenance cost was beyond imagination. That said, its power had increased explosively, befitting LSSR-level attack power. More importantly, the gun had a hidden secret. With a 48-hour cooldown, it could use its ultimate skill, sub-light speed round. A bullet fired at near light speed, only one shot. But the drawbacks were even more severe. It required 1 kilogram of top-grade magic stones as ammunition. Top grade. Through alchemy, producing 1 kilogram of top-grade magic stones required 1 ton of high-grade magic stones. In other words, a single sub-light speed round unleashed the power of 1 ton of high-grade magic stones, overwhelming firepower, but it came with a 48-hour cooldown, and during that time, even heavy rounds were sealed. The gun could not handle the strain. Its guidance function was also disabled. It was simply too fast. There was a risk of missing. Even so, how could anyone not fire it? That was why Juyuk had awkwardly asked Mary to procure one piece of top-grade magic stone. Click. The chunk of top-grade magic stone was loaded into the Magitech gun. I will aim. Beware of the backblast upon firing. Gulp. A tense moment. The frozen Colossus Condor was gliding leisurely through the distant sky. ZZZZZ. The Magitech gun glowed white-hot. Countdown. 3, 2, 1, fire for the commander. An immense backblast. Kuinchgunsums got blown backward. At the same time, pop. The Colossus Condor burst apart in the sky. The sound of the gunshot arrived after the monster exploded. The bullet had traveled faster than sound. PSHUUU. Quack, KEDUAK, quack, 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 quack. It just exploded, like a giant balloon popping. Bang, that was it. It was anticlimactic, so much so that it was hard to believe that was the same space battleship-like frozen Colossus Condor that had tormented them before. Sure, the thing had been huge and slow, which made it easy to aim at, but Novelite, only on Novelite, the summoned entities had forgotten even to applaud. This is insane. No, seriously, it exploded in one shot? Turns out it was a pushover. Truly terrifying, even for an ultimate skill. Ho, grr, woof woof. This level of power. It was like a supermassive railgun. I kind of want to see that again. Should we try the 85th floor? There was no reason not to. I'm curious. Would the sub-light speed round work on the 85th floor giant beast too? We'll think about the 85th floor later. For now, repeat the run. Let's see what our Radix brings back this time. Dum hum hun. Repeat the run. Let's see what our Radix brings back this time. Right Platimoods, multinational tower access ticket. The first clear was crushed with an S+++ rating. As expected, it was Veronica Caliber. Veronica Caliber's Magitech gun ultimate, the near light speed round, just one shot, with a single near light speed round, with no guidance function at all, she precisely hit the massive frozen Colossus Condor and blew it apart. Of course, there were a few conditions that made it possible. Its gigantic body was practically a target. It moved slowly, and it had no proper defensive measures, relying only on ice hawks for both offense and defense. It was easy to hit, and once it hit, that was the end. In short, the near light speed round was a skill optimized specifically for the 84th floor frozen Colossus Condor. It was sealed now. To see it again, they would have to wait 48 hours. The cost was absurd, too. 1 kilogram of top-grade magic stones was worth 2.2 billion won. One shot meant 2.2 billion gone. Well, whatever. Even decent missiles cost about that much these days. For now, they were repeating the same Republic of Korea Black Tower N01 run. They needed to give Radix a chance to make up for his failure. He had nearly gotten himself killed after charging out based on scent alone, and Bloodwolf had actually died, though they had revived it with the Wheel of Resurrection. While we deal with the frozen Colossus Condor, Meat Shield, Cossack, Bardin, Geppetto, and Diamat, please protect Radix and Bloodwolf. The close combat SSRs were assigned solely to Radix's escort. They had nothing else to do here. The combat team consisted of 4 LSSRs, Veronica Caliber, Mad Demon, Mackenzie, and Gondale. Just buy time until Radix finishes his work. They did not even need to kill it. This was a repeat run. Veronica Caliber, commencing the lure operation. The aerial battleship-class giant monster, the frozen Colossus Condor, and the ice hawks circling around it. The only ammunition currently available was small caliber rounds. Because of the near light speed ultimate, the large rounds that strained the Magitech gun were sealed for 48 hours. Even with only small caliber rounds, the power was no longer what it had been before. These were small caliber rounds fully infused with high-grade magic stones. What a waste of high-grade magic stones. But what choice did they have? They just had to hope Radix brought back even greater returns. Boom, boom, du-du-du-du-dung, cha, clang, clang, cha-ja-jang. The sound of drums and gongs echoed across the battlefield as Gendale's buffs spread through the blood-summoned allies. Selector to full auto. Open fire. P.A. Jeek, Pennsylvania. G. Juke, Pennsylvania. G. Juke. Small caliber magic rounds tore through the frozen Colossus Condor's subordinate Ice Hawks. At the same time, swung. Mackenzie's barrier shielded Juhek and Gandale. Mad Demon's crescent moon blade aura shattered the falling Ice Hawks. Mackenzie's flame magic painted the sky. Their attention was pulled to one side. That was enough. Hooick! Ragix climbed onto Bloodwolf's back and pointed with his golden pickaxe. W-A-G-R-R, tat-a-da-da-tat. Bloodwolf burst forward at incredible speed. The bodyguards ran with them. A faint scent of magic stones tickled Ragix's blunt nose, mixed in with the raging blizzard. Ho! Ragix zigzagged repeatedly, chasing the scent. His companions followed close beside him, guarding him. Ragix, laborer, are you sure we're going the right way? Huke, got it, I'll shut up. They ran for a long time. They had come quite far. The path was anything but easy. Their feet sank deep into the snow, and the blizzard howled. Spap-pap-pap. Cossack used Shadow Step. Diamat flew with her wings, and Geppetto transformed into a bat. Meatshield's stride was so long that simply walking let him keep up without any trouble. The only problem was Bardine, the heavy-armored holy knight with no real mobility skills. Aura, Bardine, light, no problem. Meatshield could just carry him. Bardine you are, Bardine the holy knight, the living holy sword, jumped and latched onto Meatshield's hand. Wait, you I are. The blizzard grew fiercer and fiercer, but Ragix was in a state of extreme focus, a determination to absolutely pull off something big. And then, whoo! At Ragix's gesture, Bloodwolf stopped running. Before them stood a massive ice wall. Eh? Is this a dead end? A cliff. Don't tell me we have to climb it. An ice wall of overwhelming height, stretching endlessly to either side. Plop! Ragix slid down from Bloodwolf's back. Roll. He rolled closer to the wall. Sniff, 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 sniff. He took a deep sniff. Roll. He rolled again, sniffing. Roll, roll, rolling along the ice wall. Who? Ragix stopped, bent one knee, stretched his short arm upward, and shouted, Hook, here! The blood-summoned allies rushed over. Is he telling us to break it here? Who? Yes. Feels like there's something behind it. Got it. We'll break it fast. Meatshield raised Bardin, the living holy sword. Light, W-H-I-R-R, crack, crack, car-R-R-S, chinks of ice shattered away. Ragix lifted his pickaxe too. Crack, 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 zing. Aura Master Cossack sliced into the ice wall with blade aura. S-H-R-R-Ek, broken ice piled up quickly. Then, bang! A small hole opened in the ice wall. Whoa! Oh, so this was it. Ragix grinned broadly, swinging his pickaxe faster and faster. Finally, crack, thud, the entrance to a cave was revealed, along with an overwhelming, dizzyingly dense scent of magic stones. A cave! Caves always hide treasure. That's a cliché. After widening the entrance a bit more, Ragix and the others went inside. What would they find? The answer came immediately. Normally, caves are dark because no light gets in, but the cave inside the 84th floor ice wall was different. It was dazzlingly bright, as if lighting had been installed from the start. The source of the light? An enormous quantity of magic stones embedded throughout the walls. Wow! My God! Oh my! The light! Hoeng! Woof woof! These were not ordinary magic stones. Every single one was high grade, dense and concentrated with magical energy. No wonder he had come running. Who could stay still after smelling something like this? Rajix, laborer. Ho-eng? This is too much. If you hit the jackpot on every floor, what are the rest of us supposed to live on? Cossack shouted indignantly at Rajix. I mean, huh? I swat away parasites clinging to Vice Chief Bong, huh? I eliminate risks in advance, huh? I act as the vanguard of unification, as the head of the People's Armed Forces. Huh? I've done everything. Hooey, and yet what do I earn? I get knocked out cold by one ultra-counter-strong punch from our laborer here. It was a rant that doubled as praise. Meatshield and Bardin joined in. As expected of the cosmic head laborer, this warrior will always respect you. Hooey, I cannot help but envy you, Sir Rajix. I am merely an LED bulb that lights fires. Hooit, Geppetto and Diamat too. I envy you, Senior. Hooey. Mr. Laborer, share just one achievement with me. Let's live together. I'll give you sweet dreams. Huang? Everyone was jealous. Rajix smiled in satisfaction. Shall we get started? The scent was pouring out from deep within the cave. It was quite large. Even a rough estimate put the high-grade magic stone deposits at tens of thousands of tons at minimum. Was it only Tower number 1? If Tower number 2 was included too, they would never need to worry about high-grade magic stones again. And something else caught his eye. Something truly potent. Crack! Rajix's golden pickaxe struck the cave wall. Clink! A high-grade magic stone came loose from the tip. From here on, it was harvest time. The objective of the 84th floor repeat run. Buy as much time as possible for Rajix's exploration. It was not difficult. That damned aerial battleship bird never came down to the ground anyway. They only had to deal with the Ice Hawks dive-bombing them. Sure, there were absurdly many of them. Kill them and more just kept coming. Had about 3 hours passed? Seriously, where were all these Ice Hawks coming from? I'm exhausted. Of course, he was not actually doing anything. All he had to do was sit warmly inside Mackenzie's barrier, basking in the heat of the fire heater Mackenzie had set up. The problem was the boredom. Rajix had gone off to carry out his mission by scent, with no idea when he would be back. While waiting, a thought crossed his mind. Since we're here, should we try killing that thing? Come to think of it, it was not like they absolutely needed Veronica Caliber's near-light-speed round. Mage Mackenzie. Yes, summoner. Is it possible to summon a meteor? If you can drop one, I'd like to try. Of course it is. Huh? It is? Mackenzie answered Juyuk's question with a proud smile. Let me explain first. Pabat, an image appeared above Mackenzie's head. Space, a galaxy. This isn't real outer space. It is a conceptual universe, a virtual cosmos created within my consciousness. Ooh, recreating the universe in one's mind. A 9-circle mage really was on another level. Step 1 is creating a meteor within that conceptual universe. It takes about an hour. Others usually need over 2 hours, but I'm rather talented. Oh, I can tell just by looking. Anyway, step 1 is the most important. You cannot move on to step 2 without it. He even explained it kindly. Step 2 is summoning the meteor from the conceptual universe into the real sky. This consumes an enormous amount of mana. Can you do that under the tower's sky? Of course. However, it won't appear instantly. You must continuously supply mana until it gains sufficient physical form. How long does that take? Step 2 also takes about an hour. 1 hour for step 1, 1 hour for step 2. Just those 2 steps already total 2 hours. That takes longer than I expected. With a nuke, you just plant it and press a button. Juhyek's tone dipped slightly, and Mackenzie panicked. Well, at least it's radiation-free, an eco-friendly meteor. Nukes have already gone off inside the tower. If you think about it, they're eco-friendly too. But meteors can be summoned endlessly as long as you have mana. Nukes don't really have a hard production limit either, and there are already tons of them on Earth. Mackenzie grew awkward. Anyway, what's next? Step 3 is setting the coordinates and driving it down. That part is quick, but the problem is safety. Safety, right. When a meteor falls, does it only kill monsters? Everything dies. Barriers won't be enough, unless you dig deep underground into a bunker, though even then, it would still be dangerous. Meteor summoning magic was not very practical. It took too much time, and safety was an issue. Juhyuk looked slightly disappointed. Meh, meteor summoning isn't that amazing. A nuke would honestly be better, though restrictions made it unusable. Meanwhile, Mackenzie's mouth went dry. His meteor sales pitch had failed. It had not impressed the summoner at all. He could tell just from that disappointed expression. What do I do? This is bad. Random summoning was approaching. There would be one more blood-summoned ally soon, and in their current state, that was risky. Especially since Veronica Caliber had broken through to the LSSR rank, there was no longer a strong reason to keep Mackenzie around. Honestly, the growth was absurd. A near light-speed round, one shot to blow up an 84 theft floor giant monster, an instant kill, one-hit finisher. Something Mackenzie could not even imitate. Why was he being brought along for repeat runs? Just to stall for time. They did not even need a mage. The old mad demon and the fairy were enough. Bracelet enchantments. He had disciples now. Their skill had improved so much that defect rates were nearly 0. I might lose my position. Bringing in disciples had been a mistake. He had taught them for convenience, but it ended up biting him back. The enchantment business itself was also in trouble. Recently, the summoner's gaze toward him had not been favorable. The ambitious weight loss bracelet enchantment business. People had been happy at first, but now it was the opposite. The summoner's complaint. He was too busy working all the time because of it. Am I going to get kicked out again like before? Sure, he could wait on White Tower floor 17. He would not return to the world of souls, but this was a matter of pride. Unemployed, reduced to a shut-in old man, forgotten in the summoner's memory. He needed a solution. He had to firmly establish his necessity in the summoner's mind. Damn it, isn't there some other business the summoner would like? Long-range combat? He lost to Veronica Caliber. Money-making? Ragix completely dominated that. Enchantments were about to become a liability. Then, boom, 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 signal flares exploded in the distant sky. It meant the work was finished. Time to go home. First, recall the blood-summoned allies scattered far away. Ragix, Blood Wolf, Meat Shield, Cossack, Bardin, Geppetto, Diamat. Mass recall cancelled. Then, let's go too. Veronica Caliber, retreat preparations complete. Understood. Hehe, this was work too tiring. Let's grab a drink after. They moved to the safe zone. Mission abandoned. Move, spot, White Tower floor 17. Time to settle the results of the 84 theft floor run. Commissioner Jun Guangil and CEO Jung Dong-hoon were already there. Congratulations, Player Bong. We saw the world announcement. Me too. Congratulations. Thank you. Commissioner Shun Guangil asked curiously. But the 84th floor is... It's a giant flying monster called the Frozen Colossus Condor. I'll record a video and show you later. Gasp! Flying? That's right, a flying monster. We just wrestled with it for 3 hours. I thought we'd die. That hard? Even for you, Player Bong? Oh, that was the repeat run. The first clear took less than 3 minutes. What? What had he just said? 3 minutes? We were looking for something during the repeat run. Let's check it together. Ah, yes, yes. Juhuk smiled warmly at Rajix. Rajix, did you find anything? Hobe. Oh, what is it? Rajix showed them through action. SSSHT, SSSSHT, SSSHT. High-grade magic stones began piling up on the ground of White Tower Floor 17. Woo! What is that? A vein. He had definitely found a magic stone vein. Otherwise, there was no way he could have mined this much. At this rate, they would hit 1,000 tons in no time. But then Cossack spoke with a scoff. Summoner Bong, you're surprised by just this? You've gotten soft. What foods are good for the liver? What? There was more? Cossack grinned slyly. Cosmic laborer. Hung? Show him. Be ready to wipe his drool. He might start slobbering. Hund? Gulp, just in case Juhyuk swallowed once. Meek the word. Don't tell me. Top grade magic stones. Top grade magic stones. That's right, naturally formed top grade magic stones, not refined, rare stuff. Holy crap, so top grade magic stones could occur naturally? Gulp, he swallowed again and examined a chunk. It was definitely top grade magic stones. Even if the quantity was small, it easily exceeded 30 kilograms. No worries now about replenishing Veronica Caliber's near-light-speed rounds. Residency rights, too. Mary would not even need to do any refinement work. This was insane. Now he understood why the cosmic laborer had bolted the instant he caught the scent, so that something intense had been the smell of top-grade magic stones. How could anyone resist that? He hugged Rajix tightly. "Aw, our cosmic laborer, Hunging." 2 badges, no, at least 3 would be deserved. He reached into his inventory to pull out a platinum badge, but no. If he put it on now, Rajix might break through in rank and get sent to the top of the landmark. That would take at least a week. How could he go a whole week without seeing Rajix's face? Let's take it slow, slowly. Do more 84th floor repeat runs together. Clear the 85th floor too. Was tower number 1 the only tower? They still had tower number 2 to conquer. And then, a week later, with the random summoning, welcome the new blood-summoned ally, and then send Rajix off for his breakthrough.